So Reddit, have you ever been in a fight? If so, how did it go down? Only been in a handful of fights, but the first one was bad. My sister has a big mouth and was always running it off when we were kids. She is the youngest, but she was built like an ox, so no one ever called her on her BS. One day she came in crying. She had popped off to the wrong girl and she got her ass whooped. My dad looked at me and said, "Go out there and defend your sister." I had never been in a fight before, and I know the girl who gave her a rap on the Jack Johnson, so I knew it wouldn't end well. You know, she started it. I tried to argue, but he was having none of it. And you'll finish it. Go and don't come back until one of you is bleeding. So I sulked out the door and walked across the concrete and saw her standing with her sister. She looked up at me and watched me slowly make my way across the courtyard. I stopped right in front of her and put my hands up in front of my face, the way I had seen it done in movies. She kind of tilted her head to the side and laughed at me, but I'm sure she could see the despair in my eyes and knew there was no other way. In about 15 seconds she had me in a ball on the ground. She swung her arms in a way I had never seen anyone swing before, over her head and at her sides. It was like two windmills in a thunderstorm, and I had no way to prepare for that kind of crap. After it was done, I got up off the floor and walked slowly back into the house. My dad looked at me and shook his head and said, "At least you tried. Now you can look your sister in the eye." Thanks, Dad. Your dad is an asshole. One time my face bravely fought some guy's foot and knee. It cost me new glasses and a tooth, but I think he left with a blood stain on his shoe, so not bad overall. Ha, you got the last laugh. It'll take him hours to remove that blood stain. You know those junior high fights where they just push each other a little and call each other fags for 5 minutes while the rest of the school circles around? I didn't know you weren't supposed to actually fight while you were in those. Fucker wanted to fight because I made him look stupid in class. So he starts pushing me and screaming as the crowd gathers. And then I punt him in the crotch. He collapses and vomits. And I'm the asshole for breaking the rules of the fight. Fuck that school, glad I moved away. There is no rule book on street fighting. If a guy is bigger than me, the first place I'm aiming for is his nuts. You did right. Fighting in the streets isn't about winning, it's about surviving. Guy attacks me in 10th grade on the football field before school. About half of the school is standing there. He lands a solid punch to my shoulder and my martial arts training kicks in. I start blocking his Conan O'Brien style punches, managing to break his nose and fracture his collarbone as I put him on the ground. I did not technically throw any punches and did not get in trouble at all. I was fortunate. 2 weeks later his best friend tried to push me down a flight of stairs, and one of my friends pulled me out of the way. He fell headfirst down the stairs. He was a senior, and I took his spot on the varsity football team. I guess his measure of exacting revenge was to get suspended and kicked off the football team. I have not been in a fight since. A friend and I are night fishing when we were 19 at a local pier. As was typical, we got nothing, and our 2 joints were long gone. So we decided to go home, approximate 1 AM. I went to get the car to load up our fishing gear, and on the way I hear a tense female voice angrily saying, "Stop, stop." I looked down through the planks and saw some shadows through the gaps. Then I see someone running to the east, my left, who was grabbed by another person and brought back under the bridge. I hear muffled screaming and finally decided I needed to do something. I jumped down from the side of the pier, 4 feet above the beach at this point, so no big deal, and see a guy with his hand over a female's mouth. He was restraining her. She wasn't happy. I went into save-a-ho mode. I jump on the guy's back and lock his body with my legs and get him in what was essentially a standing rear naked choke. He drops down with his full weight on me, but because of the sand, it wasn't that bad. I ended up choking him out. I thought I won and was a hero. The girl was irate with me and called me an asshole. Then dude's friends came and jumped me, beat my ass, while the girl consoled her snoring boyfriend. He woke up and proceeded to treat her like shit as I laid bloodied on the sand. Story of my fucking life. 2 teenagers tried to mug me on Christmas Eve back in 2009. I think. I'd have to go back and look. Anyway, I'm a huge guy. I have some extra weight in my gut, but I'm not someone most people would think, hey, let's pick a fight with that guy. I was walking home from a haircut. Instead of walking my usual route, I took a detour by the neighborhood park. This park is visible from the main street. I saw two kids tossing a baseball back and forth, one of them occasionally hitting it lightly with his bat. As I walk by, the two approach me, the one with the bat first. He asks me for the time. It's a little after 1 o'clock, I say after checking my phone. Cool, thanks. Now give us your coat, wallet, and your phone. I'm sorry, you heard me. Give us your coat, your wallet, and your phone. No. The kid swung his bat at my ribs. I stepped into it and pushed his arms down as best I could. He hit me, but it hit my upper thigh instead. After taking the hit, I hit him hard in the chest, knocking him out of air. While he was stunned, I broke his arm at the elbow. He fell to the ground, still unable to catch his breath. Thanks to the adrenaline at this point, I had the full intention of beating this kid within inches of his life. That was very scary to me later. When it comes to fight or flight, my instinct is, apparently, to fight, and fight to win. That's dangerous for me thanks to laws regarding reasonable force. His friend had come around behind me and punched me once. I turned around and landed a hit to his temple. He backed off, disoriented. I don't remember what I said. I know I screamed something at him, waiting for him to attack again. Mugger-1 had gotten back up on his feet and the two of them ran away. The whole thing must have taken less than 2 minutes. I love thinking about the explanation he must have given his family for why his arm was broken. I'm a small, 5 feet 4 inches 105 pounds girl. When I was 17, I was walking to my car in an empty parking lot after a late movie. A Hispanic woman appeared from behind my car with a knife, gesturing to my purse. It was all sort of a blur. I suppose my animal instincts came out. I bashed her wrist against my car until she dropped the knife. I put her in a headlock and she bit my leg so hard through my jeans I screamed bloody murder. A big dude came to break it up as I had her pinned to the ground. Of course, I looked pretty bad until I explained the situation. I let her limp away and didn't call the cops. It felt like we were even. I'm super surprised I had it in me. I had never been in a fight and I'm not a very violent person at all. That Monday, I had a cool battle scar peeking out from the bottom of my school kilt. A really pretty bruise on my leg. It was butterfly shaped I suppose from her teeth. Ever since then, I've never been afraid of walking places by myself. I still go to the same movie theater and park in the same lot. It's nice to know that, if something were to ever happen again, I could probably handle it. I was a sophomore in high school and went to a crazy house party. I'm talking hundreds of people and 6 kegs. About a week earlier one of my buddies, we'll call him Matt, got in a fight with this guy Jason, a senior known for starting shit with people randomly. My friend Matt beat the shit out Jason, which hurt his ego, and he challenged him to a rematch at this party. Matt was running late to the party, and I was already there, 16-year-old me enjoying a few beers. Jason notices me and knows I'm friends with Matt, so he calls me out asking where my boy was and began getting in my face. Another guy at the party, Josh, who was a good friend and also friends with Jason, steps in and says, "He's cool man. Leave him alone." Jason came to the party with 5 other guys, who were all at least 18 to 20, full beards. One of these guys purposely bumps into me and starts yelling at me telling me to watch where I'm walking. I apologize, but as I turn around he pushes me and I fall on top of a hood of a car. Jason and all of his buddies end up surrounding me. At this moment I know I'm about to get jumped by 6 guys with about 200 people watching. I think to myself, do you want to be a bitch and beg them not to, or do you want to make a statement? I chose the latter. I have never been in a legit fight in my life up to this point, so I take one swing at the first guy closest to me and knock him out cold, then moved on to the next guy as they started closing in on me and just started throwing haymakers, landing about 5 of them on 3 different guys. Ended up getting the shit beat out of me for about 30 seconds before 10 cop cars pull up to bust the party. I definitely dodged a bullet on that one, since I'm sure I would have ended up in the hospital if the cops didn't show up. I gained a lot of respect and was the talk of the school the next week. Jason ended up coming up to me a couple weeks later at another party and shook my hand and said he did not expect me to fight back.